Happy New Year, happy season, and all of the above. My name is Sonia, and I'm back in my bag again. So, from here on out, this is going to take a bit of a different format from what it's usually been in the past. Last year, when I started this little experiment / show that was a mesh of pretty much everything that's been a part of my life, it was me mostly doing the talking and then having guests occasionally. I'm not going to lie, that really didn't get as much fun as the weeks went on. And the truth is, I wanted to be a lot less of a vocal chamber and do more of what I said I wanted to do in the first place. I wanted to meet up with other creatives, have conversations with them about some of the things that I'm passionate about and a lot of the things that they're passionate about so that you can get to know them while you get to know me, and we can all take a chance to be on this journey together. It's a long-winded way of saying that you're going to get 2 episodes a month every other week, but they're going to be loads of fun with loads of special guests, including the man sitting to my right now. Now, I'm New York-based, so when I found out that he was on the road as he travels with Disney on Ice, he said he was going to be in New York. Usually when people say that, they mean Manhattan. He said, dude, I'm in Uniondale. I'm like, oh, that's Long Island. This is achievable. And then the conversation extended into, so you want to be on the new episode of the podcast? He's like, are you serious? I'm like, are you serious? And then after the fake stalemate, we both said yes. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Xavier Whittington, my guest on the new season of In My Bag. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Dude, it's an incredible honor to be up here. Like, really. Seriously.
Don't gas me, dog.
This is like top 5 ever in my life of things that I could have ever possibly done.
See, and the funny thing about it is we met via Facebook via various conduits. Mm-hmm. They don't need to be privy to that, do they?
I mean, yeah,
they don't need to be privy to that. But we met there, and I saw that he had radio experience. I said, oh, word. So it jumped into friendly conversation, and then as time went on, as we both went through our respective processes, there was a lot of mutual respect, a lot of scoping out for different projects, and he's got one that he'll talk about later on in the show. He also happens to be a sports fan, and like I said, with the prior radio experience, you're actually going to be very much entertained. And just in case this is your first foray into this experience, I'm not going to be one to bore you with statistical talk. I'm pretty sure Xavier won't either. But there's a story we're trying to tell you here. And we hope that you stick around for most of it. And when the next episode comes out, I won't do this long preamble and we'll just get right to the point. So, this past week, as far as sports and culture have gone, there were 2 very crucial things that happened. One of them involves 2 amateur / professional teams, which we'll get to later. The other involves a very, very controversial figure.
Oh, man.
Yes.
I know where this is going.
Yes. And the sad part about it is I swore that with my schedule, I was going to sit and watch the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. Mm-hmm. And to be perfectly honest, I did not get around to it. But I'm also kind of glad of that because I'm somebody who, when it comes to really high-powered media that can get really emotional, if I know I'm going to feel either sad or angry, I try my best to avoid it because it's going to mess up most of my day. So my reaction to Surviving R. Kelly was based on really the recollection of a lot of the people who were a part of it. Definitely the reaction of John Legend, who was the only really primary, you could say, artist that was involved, and really just overall reaction to the fact that after this has been talked about for years, now is when it finally starts to see some headway thanks to what Dreamhampton has done.
Yeah, this is, it's crazy because I'm 27 now. Mm-hmm. So I don't remember when exactly the video came out, the whole underage girl incident.
From the timelines I've seen, there have been separate cases in 1998, 2002, 2006, and even one as recently as 2016. I can pull up the official timeline, but the point is it's definitely not just one incident.
So yeah, I think we all know, when you talk Dave Chappelle and then you talk R. Kelly,
Oh,
you automatically know what I'm talking about. I don't have to go into that. But I think even then, being that young and knowing like what was going on, you could kind of see already that that probably wasn't the best person to have around kids. Although I will say, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I enjoyed R. Kelly music.
Same.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and I instantly shunned him. I listened to Same Girl. I listened to Ignition Remix. I listened to all type. I mean, we all do now. Like even at Black family cookouts, like it's not really a cookout unless you hear
Step in the Name of Love.
Step in the Name of Love.
Like that's the one. And as a first generation American, that's the one R. Kelly song that I would say mostly everybody knows because at every party. I Believe I Can Fly only if you watched Space Jam.
That was a good one.
Sadly, it was.
I can't believe I forgot about that. But it's just like it's crazy now. And I guess we're in the Me Too movement, so it kind of there's kind of a space for it now, as where there hadn't been before. So now everybody is jumping. I won't say jumping on this bandwagon because all the feelings are valid, but I think now is the time that everybody is jumping out to finally say something. Like Step in the Name of Love, I Believe I Can Fly. There was no problem with R. Kelly then. Or wait, do you disagree?
I do kind of disagree.
I'm talking public opinion, not morally. Like morally, yes, there was something wrong, but public opinion.
Public opinion, I think it was buried.
Right.
Because when you make genius, we've seen it all over time. If you make genius art, people will excuse nearly anything.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, like, and the crazy thing about all of the love songs that he wrote, all of the sex songs that he wrote, and it's creepy even to recollect, they were about underage girls.
Oh, okay. Are you making like...
I'm not trying to make an unnecessary inference. All I'm saying is that he married what was she, 15-year-old?
15 Aaliyah?
A 15-year-old Aaliyah back in the 90s.
Yeah.
When a Woman's Fed Up came out.
Wow.
When bump and grind was like his thing. Like when you put it in that context, it's kind of sickening.
It does make you think. I hadn't even thought about that until this point right now.
Because the crazy thing about art is that when you can never separate art from the artist, no matter what kind of argument people try to spit. It's like, oh, well, he's a musical genius. Let's be honest, he is. But guess what? You take your direct experiences and put it into your art, unless you're around some really good songwriters. And R. Kelly was known as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, really good songwriter.
So you can't have it both ways. Either he's sick or he's not. And the evidence against him being sick is
he's sick.
It's there.
It's just crazy. Like it's snowballed so fast.
Really?
So fast. Like, yeah, it had been out there forever, but like the way it has snowballed so fast, it's crazy. It's almost Bill Cosby-esque.
Oof.
Right? Like the amount, like the amount of people that have just come forward and also have taken a stand against it this quickly. I hadn't seen that since the allegations against Bill Cosby came up.
And the crazy thing about the similarity of both of those cases, number one, is that I think people are trying to use these two celebrity figures as cause against, the discrimination against black men, and we'll get to that in a sec. Mm-hmm. But it's the fact that the survivors never stopped telling their story. Mm-hmm. And it was never a claim to fame for them. Like, that was a very weird defense I would hear, like, oh, they're just using this to get clout. What victim can we remember of anything huge that actually used what happened to them to get clout, serious clout?
If anything, they stayed hidden. That's what I've mostly seen. Even we're talking domestic violence wise. Like, I know a couple people personally that were in those situations, And more often than not, they stay quiet because they may be afraid of what could happen if things didn't go the way they were supposed, or the way we think they're supposed to go. Like it's easy for somebody that's not in that situation to tell you to fix it.
Exactly.
So like it's easy for me being on the outside saying, "Oh, he did this to you. Why didn't you just go to the police? Why didn't you just say something?" It's easy for me to say that because I've never been in that situation. And I feel like the people that try to validate by saying, like, you know, they're doing it for clout, they're doing it for money. Like, it's easy for you to say that. You've never been in this situation. And I feel like if you had been in this situation, you would understand where I'm coming from right now and why it's so important in this time that we really do speak up. Like, seriously.
And the second part of that argument that, you know, the criminal justice system is unfair against black and brown folks, it's true.
Yeah.
But to use them as like an excuse is wrong to me, because look, we know that people get away with stuff all the time. But sometimes I feel like when we have these conversations around black celebrities, particularly within our community, it's very much like, yo, protect them, because otherwise if we let them loose, like, that's it. But then when do they get held accountable? Because they haven't been. That's why they've even gotten this chance to get to this point.
Right. And that's an important part. And even myself, I find myself at times when I see like a black celebrity in the news for something wrong, I find myself taking a stand, like, you know, let's, instead of tearing them down, let's keep them up, because they are literally our representation right now. But you need to hold everybody accountable, because one day I'm trying to be in that spot.
Facts.
So I feel like if I don't hold you accountable, who's going to hold me accountable when I get in that position? Like, if we don't start that trend, like, yes, it's great for a black man to be on TV. It's great for a black man to be in radio. It's great for a black man to be the face of America. But if we as a black culture, black people, don't hold them accountable for the things that they mess up on, the people that come after them will be just as bad. It's kind of like generations. Like, if you want to take it to generations, like, if we don't hurt, and I'm a millennial,
right?
I fall in that. If we don't hold this next generation, or this generation that's over us now, accountable, the next generation, and it's, as we already see, like, proof, like Tide Pods,
they're wilding,
Bird Box challenges,
wilding.
Like, if we don't hold this generation that's ahead of us accountable, then the next generation is going to run wild, which is what they're doing now. And that's why it's so important. And I know I'm shifting the topic, but we'll get back to it.
No, let's let it get
that's
there.
why now it's so important for my age, your age, our age ranges to start getting into politics and start getting into Congress and getting into those places, those positions that have been held by someone for 25, 30 years. Like, it's important, because if we don't start the change, the next generation is going to pick up where we should have. And by then, the world is just going to be.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's just going to be. You
start looking up like, Jesus, when you coming, bro? like right now. I think what makes this even more interesting, looking at the overall landscape of things, especially since 2016. We're not going to go into any more detail than that, because I kept telling myself he's going to get limited airtime, and that's as much as it's going to be.
Right.
Apathy for me politically, because you mentioned politics.
Right.
I've been very apathetic lately, because it's like we keep talking and no one is listening. And I was going to be really, really like upset and just like over it until I saw some of the people that were elected, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yo, she is killing it now.
Listen,
she is killing it.
BX stand up. New York all day, every day. But it's crazy to me how all of the attacks on her don't really make any sense.
Yeah. I saw I think she released a video of her dancing.
No, they found a video of her dancing. And they were like, oh, this is your congresswoman dancing in high school. And first of all, she was wearing a Boston University shirt. Secondly, the video was from when she was in college.
Thirdly, it's from my favorite movie, The Breakfast Club.
Facts.
Like, if anybody's ever seen that, like, you would know.
And fourth, as an aside, like, let's not lie. As an aside, she's gorgeous.
Okay, yeah, she's beautiful.
Like,
it's not. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
so I'm trying to figure out how they're hating so hard because she's smart.
Yep.
She is within the millennial age range, and she's shown right away that she flat out doesn't care.
She is everything that they did not want to happen to Congress.
Bingo.
There we go.
Bingo.
I think that's what it is.
And that's alongside with the most women being elected, the most women of color being elected. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, this world is changing. And it's hopefully it will change for the better. But what I'm scared of in regard to her and even leaders like her is ironically what's sort of happening in the Cosby Kelly situations. And I mean that in the sense that she's going to be built up to be this figure because of the work that she's going to do. Same thing with those other women. And then it's like the whole build up to tear down phase. And that frightens me a bit because that can really change things and really change people and will change the country even worse.
Yeah.
But, you know, the moral of this story is please be accountable. Like men, we can do. We need to do so much better.
Yeah.
Like if you see nonsense, just call it out. Like period. We shouldn't have to keep having this conversation over and over again. And to anybody of any other race who's listening to this, listen, I need you to understand that this is a very nuanced conversation, and I need y'all to just give it space, let it breathe, because you will be able to join in this conversation if you watch college football. Even if you don't, it's a pretty fascinating topic. The fact that the same two teams have played for
3 years?
Four straight years.
Has it been 4 straight years?
It has been 4 straight years.
Goodness.
And I didn't watch a single minute.
I did not. I was.
You were working. No, you weren't working. You had the night out for once.
I was in the city and I checked out a wonderful Broadway play.
See? Culture.
Off Broadway, but it's still like
It's
Tony Award winning play.
Exactly. Culture.
Yeah, it was very good. And so unfortunately I didn't see, but by the time I got back to the hotel, I was able to see the trophy ceremony, and I could not believe the score.
Me neither. I mean, Alabama has had an NFL defense pretty much every single year that Saban has been there. Say what you want about their offensive playmakers, although Derrick Henry is making them look
really good right now. Yeah, really good.
I mean,
really good. But let's not get too crazy.
Of
here.
course.
Like he was not that great a couple years ago.
He really wasn't.
He lost weight and then he got back.
Pretty much the reverse Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry is making them look really good right now.
That 99-yard run was nuts.
It was gorgeous.
It really was.
It was gorgeous.
And even if you're boycotting the NFL, I mean, seriously, the highlight was everywhere. But back to the topic. Yeah. I was so unnerved at the fact that it wasn't interesting to me anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, yes, these are the two best teams in football, but in college football, that is. But let's look at a couple of the particulars. For starters, thankfully, it's nice. We were both on the UCF bandwagon because they got shafted for the second straight year.
UCF, the only true national champions last year.
Super facts. Last year. Meanwhile, this year, their backup quarterback dragged them within a possession of an SEC team. But they don't belong here, right?
That's fair.
They don't belong here, right? If their starting quarterback was in, it probably is a whole different game.
If that's, I think about that, and I guess football is for a moment. I get it, but if I truly believe if UCF had their starting quarterback down there, they would have won that game against LSU, and they were having a totally different conversation. Like I posted with you, I said before one day, like this is their only chance for right now to prove that they actually belong in the conversation. They didn't capitalize, but they did open some eyes.
Exactly.
They did open some eyes.
Like, can you believe, like, some of the throws that he was... I can't even put that on the quarterback. It's just a lack of connection.
Right.
Because they were wide open reads. There were two of them.
Yeah, well, the first one, the fourth quarter, I think it was third or fourth quarter.
First
where
it
was just a simple fly route, and he drops the ball.
It was like the second or third play at half.
Oh, my goodness.
And they were only down by 3 at I think it was 27-24 LSU. He takes it to the crib. It's a whole different game. And they had the ball. No, because they had the ball to start the half. Oh,
right. Yeah.
It's just like, come on. The second thing that got on my nerves is that Notre Dame gets to play a soft schedule and races to the chip semifinal again. Like, can't they just be in the ACC already?
The thing with Notre Dame is that I think, I don't like it, but it's actually smarter for Notre Dame to remain independent. Because
of course it is. They
literally control how their season is to a certain extent. And I think before them teaming up with the ACC, you can make that argument that, they don't belong. They have a soft schedule. And they still do have a soft schedule.
Yes, I mean, they play all the service academies. Much love to much love to the military, but it's very hard to have. I'm so mad I forgot the name of the book because John Feinstein's one of my favorite writers. But he wrote specifically about the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
Particularly because one of their, I think Chris Spatola, he was on the Army football team and he's on air for CBS Sports right now.
Okay.
And it just detailed what the day for them is like. Up at the crack of dawn, doing drills, going to class, and they still play football.
Yeah, that's
remarkably well.
Yeah.
Let's not even say remarkably. They play well.
They play well, yeah.
They play very well.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame gets to play 3 of those schools while all they get to do is breathe football and go to class sometimes. And that's more of a knock on the system than it is on those student athletes. But we'll be here forever talking about that.
Anyway.
So someone just banged on the door. We are at
I have no idea.
And that was just a lot of noise. And I'm not editing this out either.
So okay.
It is what it is.
Welcome, Phantom Knock. There we go. Notre Dame. The system. I'm glad you brought up the system. How do you feel about the 3 and then go to the NFL? Do you think there should be a waiting period? Or do you think they should be able to go right out of high school?
Nah, there needs to be a waiting period.
Think so?
Yeah. You going to put a 19-year-old on the field with grown men?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, please.
Okay,
please.
We just said that Alabama consistently for the last, I'll say 3 to 7 years have had NFL caliber defenses.
But they're all 19 to 23 or 24 years old.
Yeah, but
they're not 27.
They're all
not
first
30.
round picks.
Not all of them, but even so, you're going to trot Trevor Lawrence out there against the Baltimore Ravens?
Sunshine.
Right now.
Sunshine. He reminds me of Sunshine.
Oh, I heard that joke so many times. So many times. But no, it's one thing to do it in the NBA where I'm not going to say the physicality is less of a factor, but put it like this. If a kid gets bullied in the post as a basketball player, at least they're going to call a foul.
Yeah.
If you get hit in football, it's probably clean, and even when it's not clean, you're still getting hit.
They're going to call a foul.
But a 19-year-old getting tackled by a 30-year-old, come on.
Equal opportunity.
Equal opportunity, yes, but that 19-year-old.
Hey,
that 19-year-old,
but look,
they didn't take bad hits in college. You want them to go to the NFL.
One thing about that 19-year-old is he's 19, he's not 30. That means he can move a little faster.
Oh, spoken like a true football player.
That means he can move a little fast. So these players that are coming up now, this is the reason why I bring up that topic, because the players that are coming up right now have so many more different ways to prepare for the game than even I had in high school. Like, they have cryotherapy in high schools.
That's weird. That's wild.
But
that's wild.
That's
wild.
that's how far they've come up though. Like, It's ridiculous.
Now, are we talking about the big schools having cryotherapy or like podunk schools?
No, you're obviously Texas, Florida, high schools, but still, like these are high schools.
That's fair.
These athletes are like monsters now, like literal monsters.
That's fair. I still wouldn't put them up against NFL corners because think about it. They're burning kids their age. They are advanced, but they are still kids their age. They're not burning Champ Bailey in his prime. They're not burning Ty Law in his prime. I'm pulling back throwback names.
They
Everybody
might
leave me
though.
alone.
They might.
Let's not do this thing where we fall in love with athletic prowess right now. Because there are kids in high school that will get whooped by Larry Bird in his prime. Hurt Larry Bird. If we're taking it to a whole nother sport, but it's the same concept. Let's not take today's athleticism and glorify it to a point where these grown professionals won't take them to town.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't see it. Like I if I have a son, first of all, I don't even want him playing football. But if he has shit like, Dad, I want to go to the draft, I'm like, are you crazy? You better go to school. Like what?
I'd say 1 year, maybe 2, but to make him wait 3,
I'm willing to do 2. I'd be more willing to do 2 than go straight out of high school.
Because even though we call them kids because they're young, but
they're legal adults.
You're legal at 18. At 21, you can drink.
It should really be 18. But
yeah, I mean, you had I think there's a rookie now. What's his name? Ravens. Lamar Jackson. He's like the youngest player to start a playoff game.
Oh, that's right.
Since like the 80s. I think he's like 20 or 21. And he was carving up defenses. So today's athletes are just statistically better. They prepare. Now, if the athletes back then had what they have now, that would only elevate their greatness. So I get that. But I'm just saying, man.
All I'll say is that Lamar Jackson, he's such a fascinating character because for those of y'all who are unfamiliar with this extremely talented quarterback, as Xavier said, youngest QB to ever start a playoff game. But peep this for a second. He carried a team for 2 years. No, flat out carried. Because once he left to go pro, Bobby Petrino got fired.
Yeah, Louisville.
All the way down.
Yeah.
And GM still had the audacity to tell a Heisman-winning quarterback, you know what, you'd be a great wide receiver.
They told it to Tebow. Now,
Tebow's different.
I'm throwing that out there, and we'll come back to it, but Tebow deserved a chance. I'm sorry.
I agree, though.
Tebow deserved a chance.
Though. 2 chips and a Heisman, you have to give him a chance. I agree wholeheartedly. Say what you want about his mechanics, but hey, John Elway, you picked him in the first round.
It worked.
And you're right. It did work. Blame Urban Meyer. Blame everybody else. But I agree. He did get sort of a raw deal, but apparently he's in the Mets farm system out here raking.
I would like to talk to these so-called experts that say, it's not going to last. Like the mechanics are wrong.
These are the same experts that said Cam Newton was a bust. These are the same scouts that said Blaine Gabbert was a better pro quarterback.
Oh, that makes me laugh. But it's just like, and I won't pretend because I don't have the credentials they have. I don't have the education that they have in the sport.
I'm eye rolling at education so hard.
But I look at I played the game. I see the game. There's no way you're telling me that Tim Tebow didn't deserve a fair shot at being a starting NFL quarterback simply because of the mechanics of his arm throw. I don't care if he throws it sideways underneath his legs.
If he does a Chad Bradford style, that'd be a little weird.
I'm saying, you're 70%. That's not great, but you got the job done. Football is the ultimate team sport. Therefore, if the team is winning with whoever is plugged in to wherever, the team is winning, why mess that up? Because you're not in love with the way he throws the ball. Like, we over sensationalize a tight spiral. It's great. It's wonderful. But Jared Goff didn't have that a year ago.
Yup.
But now he's flourishing.
All they did was change coaches.
Change the coach. And then boom.
Sean McVay's a genius.
He is.
Jeff Fisher is not.
He's not.
Like, the man is your typical coach. And he had the audacity to be like, oh, well, we could have done that if I was still coach. No,
you couldn't. That's just like, I love me some Gruden, but that's just like John Gruden. That's just like John Gruden.
Yo, don't bring him up to me because he's going to get me tight. He's gonna get me tight. He finessed the whole David. He finessed Al from his grave. A 10-year deal.
He finessed the city of Oakland. Las Vegas now, I guess.
Las Vegas about to be like, nah, Oakland, you can keep it. Even Oakland's gonna be like, nah, we don't want them no more.
Nah, son.
Not since the A's said, nah, we gonna stay. Like, we got the A's. Y'all can leave. Y'all ain't won nothing. The crazy thing about the Oakland Raiders, not the A's. The A's are doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
But the Raiders, they put their franchise back in the hands of a man who inherited a Super Bowl winning team and won it. I'll give him that.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl. Tampa Bay?
Yeah. With Brad Johnson as the quarterback. I mean, it is what it is. But he was in town for 4 months and traded your best player.
Not a good player.
Your best player.
Not a franchise quarterback who's suspect at best, but your best player
overall to the Chicago Bears, who just got knocked out of the playoffs.
But ferocious. Like, okay.
An absolute monster.
That the Bears defense had been suspect, but I would say last season I saw improvement. I said to myself, last year when I saw Trubisky, I can never say his name right. Trubisky.
No, you got it right.
There we go.
Yeah.
When I first saw him play, I root for ECU.
Okay.
East Carolina University, but I also like UNC. Unless they're playing, we hung 70 up on UNC. I'm not gonna go back into that. But when
Mac Brown is coaching them again, that's weird. But
weird. I saw him once. I saw they drafted him out of North Carolina. And I saw immediate flashes from him. Now, I'm not saying he's Peyton Manning.
True.
But he's a good NFL starting quarterback. And I saw that defense, and that defense year after year has gotten better and better. It never really was horrible because the Bears have always had a okay defense.
Uh-huh.
But when they got Khalil Mack, I bumped them from top 15 in the league to top 5 easily. Before he even played a single snap. And this year just proved, like, I give it 2 years. They're going to be Super Bowl champions.
Woof.
That defense is going to win the Super Bowl.
Best part about it is that it's on tape, so if he's wrong, y'all can go back to it.
But if I'm right,
I'm willing to believe it, though. I'm dead willing to believe it.
2 years. Two years. They came too close to lose it off of was it Cody Parkey? Cody Parkey field goal.
Poor kid, man. It was tipped.
Tipped.
Poor kid, man.
I saw the video. He got booed out of the stadium, dude. It was horrible.
But none of the fans in the stadium can kick. See,
no, and he scored 9 of the 15 points.
And I'm so glad. This was a great transition because I was listening to a 30 for 30 podcast today about I've been listening to a bunch of them lately. But the one I was just listening to was the one about Hideo Nomo, the first Japanese pitcher in Major League Baseball.
He just signed not too long ago, right?
Hideo Nomo? No, we're talking 1995.
See, they're all blurred. But somebody just signed from a Japanese league, right?
Yeah, I forget his name, but he signed to the Mariners.
See, I know baseball a little bit.
See?
There we go.
But see, I'm glad you're here.
Okay.
Because watch this. One of the things that got me tight in the car was that they were talking about Hideo Nomo making the jump from the NPB, the league in Japan, to Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. And it was at the time when baseball was in the strike. And there was a clip from a fan that said, well, I think it's selfish that, nobody cared about the fans. I stopped the thing and went on a whole tirade to myself in the car.
Yeah, okay.
But I went on a whole tirade. Like, first of all, it's almost like y'all forget that athletes are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like y'all forget that they have families to feed. And it's almost like y'all forget that if you get mad when you don't get a raise of a couple $1,000s, imagine what millions looks like. Granted, even 1 million is life-changing money for most of us. Yeah. So how much more that extra 5 million, that extra 7 million, or whatever the number was? If you go to work, guess what? Professional athletes, professional entertainers, all that stuff, that's still work.
Yes.
Talent or no talent, it's still work.
I'm glad you went there, because like they be, I'm not gonna say that word, but
thank you,
off.
But they be bugging.
Like
no, like even this little conversation that's going real great so far.
Yeah.
This whole thing took work. He finished work. I finished work.
Yeah.
We set up the equipment. Sitting here and talking about our experiences is literally years and years and years of work and doing this properly.
Huh, that's a good way to look at it.
Like, come on. And yet y'all want to get mad because they want to get paid fairly. Not everyone can be Manny Machado. Not everybody can be Bryce Harper. But just this is one where you stay in your lane, which is where, perfect segue. So we talked before. You said you didn't really know baseball like that, whatever.
Right, yeah.
So peep this. 2 of the best stars in the league, I'm gonna give you rundowns. They're both about 25, 26 years old. Mm-hmm. Both have, one's won an MVP, another's won a bunch of Gold Gloves. Literally, if not the best players at their positions, top 5 in the league. And people are complaining because they want 10-year deals worth more than $300 million. Because the 10-year deal, by then they're 35, and baseball is one game where you could age kind of gracefully.
That's true.
So that means that their age 35 season, they could still be extremely productive.
That's fair.
But people are totally livid. And you know what I think it is? I'll tell you, because there was talk about this free agent class for years about how they were going to demand nearly $500 million in contract revenue. Mm-hmm. What I think is happening now, since over the past couple years, the signings have gone down more and more from ownership who don't want to really spend the money, which again is their prerogative, but the talent's going to get mad, and then you have to deal with that. Yeah. I think that they're mad that this generation has the audacity to think that they're worth that much money. And that mentality sort of seeps down to the fans, because the fans never side with the workers. Like that, isn't that so true. Weird? In every lockout period, the fans have always sided with ownership. When the NFL locked out, the players need to suck it up. When the NBA locked out, the players need to suck it up. I already told you what happened when baseball went on strike in 1994. Yeah. It's like, it blows my mind. Like, y'all don't understand what's really happening here.
And it's crazy because we're all, I mean, for the most part, you have a few rich Americans that are fans of any sport, but for the most part, we all work.
All of us.
That's crazy, right?
All of us.
So if we put ourselves in those situations, and you know, this is the one thing I hate to see on any type of comment feed, news feed. If I'm talking to people, you know, you get paid millions of dollars to play a game. Like, no, I get paid millions of dollars to put my body on the line, to sacrifice family time, to sacrifice what I maybe wanted to do. Just really quickly, I wanted to be a fireman growing up. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to not fight fires because I didn't realize how rarely fires actually happened.
Oh wow!
So that's what I wanted to do. Now I'm doing the whole Disney thing, and you know, I'm living my life. I want to go in a different direction, but if I wanted to be a firefighter, I couldn't go do it right now. So
exactly,
I feel like people think from where they want it to be. Like, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. That's because you would probably do it for free because that might have been what you wanted to do. I find a lot of things on like news feeds, a lot of people that have played the game when they were in high school or played it like a junior college, and now they just go ham. Like, you don't deserve to get this. You don't deserve to get that. Who are you to tell me
They're better at it than you.
Exactly. Get over it, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but if I know my worth, and I know that I can get this amount of money to play a position or to play a sport that I know I'm good at, why would I not try to fight for that?
Every single penny. Thank you. And the same supposed working class is trying to get their tax refund, which may come late because the government shut down. Don't listen to the White House. Sorry, overt political take, but we go on.
And some of the people that voted for the guy that's shutting it down.
Enough political talk. Back. I know. But back to the topic. But you then fix your face to tell me that a professional athlete shouldn't be scrapping for every dollar. Because guess what? In the regular working force, you earn new skills. Okay, you can extend your career as long as possible, so long as you don't make really dumb decisions. When you're a professional athlete, you have a maybe 10-year window. That's if you're lucky.
3 to 7 if you're 3 to 5 if you're NFL, I think.
I thought it was like, well, yeah, actually, that's
about three
to five, and they're not even guaranteed contracts.
No, which is another thing. That's crazy.
Ugh. So much for that lockout doing any good. But we're talking about baseball anyway.
Right.
Even though those contracts are guaranteed, it's the same principle.
Yeah.
I feel like people are like, oh, baseball's boring. They don't do any work. You're on the road for 162 days minimum. You're not counting travel days. You're not counting the supposed all-star break, which they say is 3 days, but it's really like 1 between all the travel. Right. And if you make the all-star game, there's no such thing as a break. A lot of these guys have families.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have multiple residences because it's either that or you live out of a hotel where it's going to be really expensive anyway. Yeah. Like, it's not to really say, oh, boo-hoo, cry for them, but it's to just put you in their shoes for a bit.
It's a different level.
It's a literal different level.
Like, I understand to know that I'm not Bryce Harper. So I don't have as much expenses as he might have. I don't have as much need to get those expensive performance enhancing, not drugs. Performance enhancing. That was so bad. I'm so like not baseball. Okay, but like I don't need to have chef to cook healthy meals for me when I'm out on the road. Like. And the things that they do spend the money on, which is none of our business to count their pockets in the first place.
Word.
But it only further helps them play more years for you, the fan. Everything they do is for you. So why not reward them with a 10-year? Exactly. Wouldn't you want him to stay with your team for 10 years? If you worked at a job for 10 years, wouldn't you want pay raises in those 10 years?
Bingo.
He's saying, forget that. Just give me my money now, and then we restructure. Who's to say 3 years down the line he won't restructure so you guys can pick up another superstar and maybe go out and win a pennant?
Because guess what? All of these contracts are built with team options, opt-outs, whatever. So
people don't care about the truth when the lie's more entertaining.
You need to like trademark that now.
No, it's not mine, but I heard it, and I'm just gonna. But it's true though. Like people don't care about the fact that there are different things in a contract. All they see is 10-year, $300 million.
And let's talk about that maintenance for a second, because I feel like people think that professional athletes just eat McDonald's every day and they just like hit the gym or hit the field or whatever. They pay for specially structured meals because if they don't eat that certain meal, something can actually go wrong. And for those of you armchair nutritionists who want to try to correct me, your stomach is probably turning right now because of something you ate. I need you to chill. And here's one thing that will always baffle me. There are 3 staple fears for the general Western public, civilization, what have you. There's death. For some, it's taxes. And it's public speaking.
Yeah.
So imagine playing the supposed game that is such a privilege in front of 40,000 people every single night. And if you strike out, the whole world's going to talk about it. If you hit a home run, the whole world will still talk about it, which means nobody leaves you alone. Which means you deal with the extra pressure. And that's just if you're in a semi-major city. That's if you're a minor league player.
Yeah.
Can you imagine playing in New York? Or
Dude,
Boston?
Don't get me started.
Even Washington?
Dude.
LA may seem like they only care about college football, but they have Mike Trout, now LeBron James. Nobody cares about college football anymore. I'll say it if they won't.
Hey, they have the Rams now too.
Oh, so even then, people care. People don't even care about the Chargers. But all of that to say, pressure is on everywhere. If you think you can handle it for one throw, sure. For maybe that one opportunity to show I can do it, yeah, all right, fine. I dare you to do it for a week.
Yeah.
And see if you don't end up asking for your time in hard-earned cash.
The amount of prep it takes in a week just to get ready. And baseball has 2-3 games a week usually?
2-3 games a week. That's 2-3 games a series. So we're talking about close to 4 to 5 games a week.
Yeah, because sometimes they have the back-to-back. Sometimes they play 2 games in one day. A lot
of times they have back-to-back. Their series are usually 3 games long. Mm-hmm. They'll get a day off either for rest or for travel, and then do another 3-game series.
Yeah, so I don't get it, man. Why is this even an issue? First of all, it's a privately owned company.
Oh boy.
It's a privately owned business. So this goes back to count people's pockets. I can't equate what they get paid to what I get paid for the amount of work that I do. I get paid for what I do day to day for this job that I do. Mm-hmm. It's not a professional athlete. My bosses, well, they probably do have the money, but that's not what my deal is structured around. People don't understand that they have. Again, this goes back to the bills. They have bills that we'll never have. So your rent is not DeAndre Hopkins' rent.
No.
Now, albeit he goes out and he buys that mansion, but still.
He can do it.
He can do that. and you shouldn't make anybody feel bad because they do. You shouldn't. If somebody won $1 million right now, you're going to tell yourself not to buy whatever you want?
First off, I'm paying all of my bills. Then I'm saving some of it. Then I'm buying whatever I want.
How many people would do that?
I can probably count on one hand.
Exactly.
Everybody will floss heavy.
Exactly.
Heavy.
I know I don't want to be in debt. I want to pay off my bills. I don't want to work. But how many people will honestly do that if they were in those situations? Exactly. People are fickle, man.
You can't please anybody,
including New York fans. Oh,
I'm so glad you said that because we went to the Islanders game,
dude.
Last night.
Oh my goodness!
And as a Carolina boy, the Islanders played the Hurricanes. We sat next to each other. I'm not really an Islanders fan, but I'm from Long Island, and I feel a way since they took the Coliseum from us. So if I can, I will. Still Rangers for life, so whatever. But, man, they are
fickle. And I'm going to get hated, and I get it. But guess what? I'm from North Carolina, so I'm a Carolina Hurricanes fan anyway. But, the Islanders fans, by the way, they are passionate. You'll go from hearing a fan cuss out the team to them, doing the yes chant. I think I got a little bit of beer spilled on me.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, whenever they score, you stand up, and I get it. Somebody actually yelled at my friend because he wasn't standing up. This is when we had went out.
Oh yeah,
to
that's
go get something.
With food.
Yeah, he was like, I don't root for either team. I'm just here to enjoy the game. But that's how diehard, and I love that they're diehard like that. I feel like, and I'm from North Carolina, but I'm a Jets fan, so I feel like I went to see the Jets in August during a preseason game. They played the Redskins, and my voice was hoarse. By the end of that game, we lost that game, of course. like we lose every other game. But that's
and they hired Adam Gase.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna go there.
No, we're not.
Okay,
that was just an aside.
Okay.
Please continue, please.
Okay, all right. But anyway, it's amazing because the game was 2-2. The game was 2-2, and the Hurricanes scored, and you start to see people file out. It's maybe 2 minutes left in the game, and you start to see people file out. Then we score another goal. It becomes 4-2, and then you just see a rush of people get up out of the seats and start heading for the exit. And 20 seconds later, the Islanders score a goal, and literally the stadium or the arena comes unglued. I had never heard something so loud by a small amount of people, because people started leaving by then. And for the rest, I don't know, it was like maybe a minute left. All you saw was just a sea of blue jerseys, blue shirts, just standing. And that's what I love about sports. Snap of a finger, that quickly can change a season. Cody Parkey, change a season, change a game. Dude, I love it. I love it. But you're still fickle. You fans are still fickle.
And for the record, my staple rule has always been this: if there is still time left on the clock, if there are still outs left in the game, you already paid for it. You ain't gonna save money by leaving early. You might as well stay. And that's exactly what I said to Xavier. I'm like, where y'all going? They're like literally 2 minutes left.
Yeah, so that's a lot of time now. Like, that's a lot of.
Yes.
I am actually a hockey fan. I'm not like a hockey savant, but I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that a goal can be scored in 10 seconds. I've done it on NHL 18. I'm just saying. But, a lot can happen. Miracle in the Meadowlands. A lot can happen.
Yes.
1 and 2.
Ooh, you were there for the second one?
No. I heard about it.
I mean, how could you not have heard about it?
Is Deshaun Jackson doing the little...
Oh, we're gonna get in so much trouble. I'm gonna have Giants fans cuss me out for this, but it's okay. But,
I'm only here for the week. I'm sorry.
But they're gonna find me. But I will say that the part of what makes this whole experience so incredible is that it takes a lot of ingenuity to do these things. Say what you want about rote muscle memory, that is. Say what you want about, they've been doing this for a long time, the whole time. It takes a lot of work. It takes creative thinking to not make the same thing old over and over.
That in themselves, them doing it a long time is a testament to dedication.
Exactly.
To your craft. So, yeah, they've done it for a long time. Like, hey, that's an accomplishment in itself. People's attention spans are so short nowadays.
Extremely.
To have somebody dedicated enough to do the same work regimen, to do the same thing over and over and over again, to further perfect themselves in whatever they're doing, that's a testament to what kind of athlete, person, character, that's just a testament to who they are as those things.
So speaking of short attention spans, in case if you've stuck with us this whole time, you're great and you probably have nothing better else to do, but you've been entertained, so you have no reason to complain. So Mr. Whittington has a great creative background. He's grimacing as I say this because I'm singing his praises, but it's all good. And part of the why I love the chance I get to do this is because there are certain times when things come full circle. And this is one of those times, because as we were in the car leaving from the game, started to play a song. I'm like, wait a second. I know this song. How do you know this song? And it turns out that Lauren, former guest on season 1 of In My Bag, who also did a live recorded performance, is also got the title theme song to the project that Xavier's gonna tell us about now.
Yeah, man, it's I tell you what, it's been a long time coming. Lauren is amazingly gifted. Like amazingly gifted. I told you the story, and I'll tell it briefly here. But my show, I'm doing my first scripted drama that I've been working on since I started writing it in 2015.
Wow.
2015, I started writing it. during a dark period in my life where I did not know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to act, but I had always been these stories in my head. And a lot of times you think you're crazy. Like, you have these people talking and you're like, are you going crazy? And then when you start to write it down, it's like, whoa, wait, these are stories. These are stories that can be told. And then you write it down and you start looking at it and you're like, these are actually okay stories that could be told. Okay, let's see where this goes. And that's where the show came from. And Lauren having the title track is First World Problems. That's the name of the show. And it's about a young kid that got a lot too fast. But but he doesn't understand that his problems are so minuscule to what actually goes on in other people's lives. That's why it's First World Problems. I know you've heard of that that
phrase. Mm-hmm.
It's a little too hot in here. Oh, it's First World Problems. Some people are sleeping on the streets. So I decided to take that moniker and just change it into something that shows really the journey of a young dude that's just trying to make his way in the world.
Now, how do you take that sort of creed and make it so that it's not like wrote every single episode? Like, what I know, the pilot is done from what you've told me.
Pilot is finished.
So as you go on in this process to complete this season, how are you going to keep that same storyline fresh?
Well, so it started off, and I'll tell you the first name of it was called Finding Me, and through various rewrites, it became This Is the Life of, Who Cares and all this other stuff, and finally First World Problems. But the story that's being told, I'm telling it in a way to where each individual episode is a story of itself. So along the way, you'll find out, just what goes on with these different characters. You'll see revelations that you kind of guess will come, and then some that will totally knock you over the head. And what I'm so grateful of is that I've been able to go back and rewrite, even just as we're about to start filming episode 2 next month.
Wow.
And I've been able to go back just as late as last month and do another rewrite. And I thought I was done. I'm done now. It's like, I'm done now. So
thank God.
I'm going to definitely let the cast listen to this, but I'm done now. So don't worry about, you won't get another script. But like, I'm always able to go back and find new ways to have these characters interact with each other. And that's one thing I've been priding myself on. I'm really shy when it comes to talking about my work because I care so deeply for it. And I'm one of those people that if I look at it and I just don't like it, I would rather scrap the whole idea and start over to put out something that I cannot stand behind. I feel so deeply, I care so deeply for the art and for people that have come before me that I would be a disservice to them and disrespectful to them if I did not take my time and put my whole entire soul into what I was doing. So I love that I'm able to go back and find new ways for these characters to interact with each other, find new ways to expand the story. It's awesome, dude. This first season, it's awesome.
So when we look at like how production has been for you, for people who are used to seeing networks roll out seasons and go weekly episodes because they've got a budget and they've got a bunch of different things covered, how have you been able, because you travel for work? That's hard. How have you been able to keep your head above water, one, and two, still keep that creative train going?
It is hard. It is so difficult. I've been touring since 2016. So this is my 4th different show, 30-year touring altogether. And it is very difficult to write in a hotel room, for one, and then work a 18-hour day, have shows, and then come back to the hotel room and try to convince yourself to write. I go through writer's block just like anybody else. But 2015, I started writing this, and 2016, I wanted it to come out the next year. I was still naive to how the business worked. So yeah, that wasn't working like that. But it has been a difficult road. But I feel like no matter how far I go in the industry, you know, my ultimate goal is to open up a school for kids to come learn theater arts for free.
That's beautiful.
That's my ultimate goal.
That's beautiful.
Like, you know, I want the awards. I want to have my own company, which I have now. But I want to be able to open a school for kids. But I was going through such a rough time because it wasn't happening fast. It wasn't happening how I wanted it. And when I got to tour, I just thought, oh, this is going to be great. I'll still be, no, because now you're tired. Now you're changing cities every week. Now you don't know when you're going to be able to be home. And everything is back home. My home base is back home. And this last summer, 2007 or 2018, goodness gracious. 2018, this last summer I got home from tour for my 2-month break. And I literally forced myself to look myself in the mirror and said, you are getting this done. Like, you can't wait any longer. So there were times where I'm eating ramen noodles at night, still eating ramen noodles sometimes. Not going to lie about that. But I've been blessed to have a team back home that has literally taken. I have not been there to shoot a single shot of that pilot episode. I hired a director who I worked with in the past, Sharif. I was actually in one of his films in 2016, and we built a great connection. And he has literally, I put this in the hands of him and his girlfriend, who doubles as his agent, and she's also in the show.
Wow!
I put that in the hands of him, and I trusted him. And he is literally, from what I've seen so far, he has literally put my words out into the, I'd say, galaxy. Like, that's how far I believe this will go. And it's such an awesome feeling. Like, it's difficult. It really is. But you have to seriously, I didn't put things in motion, so I told myself that I have to get this done. And I think that's the most important thing for anybody that's even wanting to do something like this. You're not going to have a lot of money starting out. You're not going to get the budgets that you think you're going to get. You're not going to get people to invest like you think. And maybe you will. I'm not trying to discredit anybody that wants to go that route. But you have to get it done. As long as the content is great, that's all that matters. And I'm blessed that Sharif knows what he's doing, and it looks great and it looks awesome, even though you had a little critique the other night.
It was just the way you've spoken highly of him now. I probably don't even know what I'm talking about, so it really doesn't matter. A true layman at best, but I'm really excited to see this episode. For the record, I have not seen a single minute of this episode, and I take people who come on here, I take it very, very seriously, who I reach out to and don't think that nature. But it speaks to the type of work we're the same age. But the same type of work that this man has done has really been incredible. He's been lifting me up at times where I just stare in the mirror like, yo, this is like, I need to just go get a regular job and just forget the rest of this. And I have a regular job now.
Dude, you telling me?
But man, it was just like, it's like, man, you gotta keep going. I was like,
you got
it's that or you're gonna be stuck. The one thing I do not want to do in this life, God forbid, this may be it. This dead may be it. But if I didn't at least swing for the fences once, I wasted the chance that God gave me. I wasted everything.
I was in Toledo, Ohio, and like we were the same age. I'm 27. I haven't been out of the house long, but I've been out long enough for Mom to miss me. So we're talking, and I was telling her when my touring career is over, and I was thinking, like, I really want to take this seriously. I want to move my business to Atlanta or to LA. She's like, are you sure? Like, you really want to do this? I'm like, look, I get it. I'm your baby boy. But the way I feel so strongly about what I'm doing here and the work and the potential that it has, that if I do not take this chance and I look up years from now and you can always do it, but your best days sometimes they go behind you. So if I look up and I have not made the impact that I wanted to make, not because I didn't try, but because I failed to try, then I will consider my life a failure. Right now, I'm swinging for the fences, dude. Like, I don't care. I didn't care how many bills came. I didn't care how many times I had to eat oodles and noodles, how many times I drank water instead of soda, which I need to anyway because I'm kind of on the heavy side. But you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't care. Like, I was getting this done. This pilot was being shot. These episodes will be shot because if you don't invest in yourself, nobody else will. I cried myself to sleep in hotel rooms while on tour, and nobody knew because I was yearning so much for this to be done. And I felt so strongly about this project. You got to go for your dreams. If you don't, what are you here for? You're just existing. You're not living. You're going to fall. You're going to mess up. You're going to be broke. But if you don't follow your dreams, you will always have a what if. And I'd rather have a failed experience than a what if any day of the week. Because at least I know I put myself out there. Like right now, dude, I'm from Rocky Mountain. Shout out to Rocky Mountain, North Carolina.
Yeah.
But I'm from Rocky Mountain, North Carolina, and I'm sitting here touring the world, the country. It's ridiculous. I never thought I'd be here, but I always knew I'd try to be.
That's real. So give us a bit of the best you can. Give us a good calendar type rollout of how first world problems will be viewed to the world.
Okay, so we are currently working on YouTube. That's where we're going to go with it. YouTube, Facebook.
Okay.
We already have a page set up. I've been working, and I'm about to start working with a young lady out of Raleigh, North Carolina, who's kind of like a consultant. Mm-hmm. And she's going to help me figure out demographics and things like that because I'm not apt in that situation. I'm more of a creative. And I don't mind. That's another thing about me. I don't mind getting somebody else that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
Like, I don't like people that's like, oh, I'll do it all by myself. Like, no. I know this person is good in that, so I'm going to let them do it, and we're going to flourish like that. Exactly. I'm not going to just because I want everything done by myself. I don't want to be the writer, director, actor. No, I want to write. I'll let somebody else direct. I'll let somebody else do this. I'll let somebody else do that. Not only because they're better at it, but because that's how you build relationships.
Exactly.
Look at Adam Sandler, dude. He has like 8 actors that he consistently works with almost every movie that he does. And it's because they all believe in each other. So I'm thinking YouTube right now, Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to have a premiere party where Lauren is going to perform along with another young lady, Rachel Bailey, who's adding music to the show.
All right.
And we're looking at June for that to happen.
All right.
June of this year. We plan on releasing the pilot and then episode 2 together. And it's just going to be an awesome time, dude. I think this has the potential to really catch on to people. We give you everything that you're going to want. We're going to give you the drama. We're going to give you the laughs. You may cry a little bit, but mostly you're going to be mad at Josh. That's the lead character.
Good.
So yeah, everybody loves somebody to hate. So you're going to really, it's like you're going to want him to get his stuff together, but at the same time, you're going to love to hate him. And it's just going to be, it's going to be awesome. I'm so excited for it.
One of those. All right.
Yeah.
Any ideas of how long you think this season is going to be or what's on the docket?
So currently right now I have 7 episodes written.
Wow.
Written.
That's really good.
And I've actually I got a writing team now. That's crazy.
Okay, so I gotta ask you this: when funds are not always in the equation for all the young creators out here, you should pull out a pad and paper because you're going to be hearing from somebody who knows how to do it. Yeah. When the budget's not what you want it to be or what you wish it was, how do you still manage to get things done at a high quality level?
Invest. I want people to invest in themselves like I invest in myself. So everybody. Okay, so it's so easy because you don't know how many writers, how many actors, how many directors out there that are just looking for a chance. 2011. This is when I'm doing radio. This is when I first started acting. A lovely lady, Miss Mary Clay. She was doing a stage play. I want to say it was called Mischievous. She was doing a stage play, and I was into radio, and I was like, I really want to get in front of the camera. Like I think I have a face for the camera, you know. So I asked her, like, you know, is there anything that I can do? You know, auditions are already over. I'll do anything. I'll stand. I'll do. I just want to be on stage. She found me a role. It was 2 roles. It was the role of a DJ and the role of a pastor. No words. I just pretended off stage that I was a DJ, and then pretended on stage that I was a pastor. 2 separate scenes.
Okay.
My name was DJ Pastor. That's
okay.
That's what my name was. DJ Pastor.
Okay.
But she saw in me that I wanted to do something so bad that I was willing to do anything to get to that. So for me, you have to invest in yourself. You can find so many people out here that want to do something, and all they want is a chance. All I needed that day was a chance. And she actually sparked everything that's happened up to this point. And I've been blessed to be able to keep in contact with her, being more of her plays. And I've let her know, you are the reason why I am where I am today. Because you gave me that one opportunity and you saw something in me that day. So I feel like for me, there are a lot of great writers out here that can't be heard. I'm at a point now into what I'm doing to where I can actually make things happen. And the money's, no, it's rarely there. But I've been able to find ways to compensate people. Just like, I mean, I've taken money out of I've been taking money. I pay. So once they pay me, I pay other people. Mm-hmm. That's how I do it, honestly. And, you know, I can't pay you a lot, but what I can say is that you will own everything that you write.
Ooh.
You own everything that you write, and we are in a partnership. That's how I do it. Even with Sharif, like, we have an understanding. Like, you have the creative eye. I trust you with it. I give you full creative control. Only thing that I ask is that if I don't like something, we have a conversation. And you show me why it should be this way, and I give you my response, and then we come together like that. And I pay you what you're worth. I pay you what you ask, as long as you work with me. Build relationships. That's how. You build relationships with people. You get an understanding that I'm not there yet, you're not there yet, but together we can make something magical. I always say to everybody that's ever done anything with me, we're going to make history. Before we do a table read, let's make history. Let's remember when we're reading this. Let's remember when we're filming this. Let's remember when we're editing this, that we are here to make history. We are here to make something that nobody's ever seen before, but something that nobody will ever forget. So with my writers that I have now, I have 2 writers now that I'm working with that are writing different scenes for season 2, actually, that we're working on. Full creative control. I give them bullet notes. They give me what they got. We talk about compensation. We talk about rules of engagement, and that's how I've been able to do it so far. That's pretty much it. Building relationships, trying to work, having people work with you is probably the best thing that can happen in this industry.
So going alongside that, we know that in this field that there are also very predatory people out there.
Yeah.
And people have been burned before. It's happened to me a couple of times as well. Is there, I guess the better way to ask this is, how can you sort of discern, and for the guy or the girl or the person that's been burned, how do they get back up and get ready to try again?
I've actually been blessed to never, knock on some wood,
I don't think that's real.
That's not real wood. All right, well,
find you some paper.
Yeah. Either way, I've been really blessed not to come into contact with, I've had a couple things here and there when I worked in radio to where, it really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But as far as this, when I'm looking at different writers or even actors, I look to see the desperation. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I look to like how desperate are you to be in a position where this can be your full-time job? How much does this mean to you? Does this mean staying up all night and recording? A good friend of mine, DeMario Carr, he had a innovative idea of the first full mime gospel stage play.
Oh, wow.
It's awesome. The Boombox Live.
Wow.
He's done the Boombox Live. He's done A Good Times Christmas. He's done Worth 2. These are all fully mime stage plays. And we would spend hours recording in studios, the dialogue. It's ridiculous. So that's what I look for. I look for consistency and I look for desperation. I want to see if you're as desperate as I am to make this work. And if you're not, if this is just something you can fly by the seat of your pants, this is just something you can put off, then I don't want to work with you. As far as getting burned, yeah. Like I said, I haven't come in contact with it yet, but I've known a lot of people that have been burned and that have different views and opinions on different relationships. And those are usually the people that are saying, me. I want to do it myself now. I'm not going to work with anybody else. I would honestly say to you, don't look at it as getting burned. Look at it as it has to be a learning experience for you. Like now you know how not to treat somebody, or now you know how to take it. Like you've been there before. Get up, brush off, keep writing, keep acting, keep singing, keep playing. Like that's all you can do. Get your cry out because you're gonna cry. Get your cry out.
All creative people cry at one point or another. Don't let them lie to
Dude,
you.
I cry
Every
so much.
rapper cries. Sorry.
Sorry to ruin it for you. Your favorite rapper cries because if it means something to you, you're going to show that emotion. So I hate to use the whole, the old age, everything happens for a reason. But that's truthfully honest. Every single thing in your life happens for a reason. So if something happened where you did get burned, or something happened where something rubbed you the wrong way, or you got treated misfairly, it happened for a reason. So take time to figure out what that reason is. Brush your pants off, get back up, get back on the bike, start riding again. Because as long as you stay down, you're going to pacify yourself into staying in that position, and you're never going to grow into the person that you could be.
That's real. That's very real. What a fantastic conversation this was. Tell the people where to find you and everything else that you do.
Oh, snap. I've always wanted to do this. Okay. So I've always wanted to do this. All right. So you can find me. I've always wanted to do this. You can find me on Facebook. Xavier Whittington. It's literally XAVIER WHITTINGTON. You can find me on Snapchat at ringmaster_xdig, because I always wanted to be a ringmaster. That's
Bingo.
ringmaster_xdig. And Instagram, I'm up there sometimes. So I don't.
I'm mostly either on Twitter or Instagram myself anyway.
I'm never on Twitter. I can never get to it because
why?
Nobody follows me. Like I follow like all these other places. Nobody follows me, but definitely have me on Facebook and Snapchat because it's very fun.
That is a big fact. So X, it's been a late night for the both of us. See, You're gonna get this on Friday on the way to your commute, and you're gonna love it. Or you're gonna listen to it on the way back from work. And this is Blood, Sweat, and Tears, people.
Yes,
blood, sweat, and tears. But seriously, X, thank you so much for taking the time out to be here.
Dude, thank you.
It's been great.
This has like been a dream of mine. I feel famous now that I've been on your podcast. Like now that it's all worth it. Like stop writing, stop doing everything. It's all worth it now.
I guess I gotta get a publicist, huh?
Yeah. I'll be your publicist. No.
I'm
horrible. I need a publicist. I'm horrible.
Part of me wishes this was video because y'all would have seen the gaping. Really? Look at my face. No, but seriously, any publicist who want a partnership, yeah, you already know what to do. As for the rest of the proceedings, again, this will be 1 out of 2 episodes every month. So I won't see you next Friday, but the Friday after that. You can find me on the socials at the following places. On Twitter, N_ASONYE. Instagram _sometimesJR. You can't find me on Facebook. I mean, you can, but I probably won't add you. You can listen to this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and Anchor. No sponsorships yet, but we hope, we pray, and do things of that nature. Thank you for joining us for this entire episode. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Have a fantastic couple of weeks. See you then.
I love you, Mom.
Aww.